The one thing, and I guess the elephant in the room is the whole COVID-19 situation that we're currently in, and I hate calling it a crisis, a situation. Tell me a little bit about how you've had to adapt your business, because again, from a home building perspective, it is quite a personal purchase, and in terms of the whole process of taking someone through, inquiry to here are the keys, good luck.
The COVID is really a crisis in many respects, as you say.
Yeah.
We've had to structure all the jobs. Unfortunately, the jobs have slowed down in the construction period because we can only have so many trades on site at once. And so many people doing their part of the journey. With the owners, everyone we've had has been acceptive of that because they can understand why. And we've made sure we're very transparent in why it's slowed down and why this is happening. We've also been able to still take our owners to site, which I find is very important. Walk them through the different things we're at, wherever stage we're doing. Rough in stages when you actually wire the home and put the plumbing through the home, etc. That's an interesting day because you've got all the trades there on the one day. You're trying to make it all fit.
And manage it all within the restrictions.
So you've got people coming at different times to meet with the owners so they can have their say. And the few times we've had to do that, it's been really, really good. People are really happy with it and very respectful of the fact that we have to do it. It's been very hard and very daunting, and I'm glad we're in it in some ways and not starting because we've learned a lot.
And I guess one of the things that you're saying is the fact that it's surrounded us so strongly is people are sort of accepting of the fact that you've had to adapt your business. And I think that's one of the key things that I've found through these conversations is that even in such a, we're not delivering takeaway food or things like that in terms of smaller purchases where we're building houses. And the fact that people are prepared to work with you in terms of allow you to work within those restrictions but still do the job is remarkable. So you can actually work through it. It's just a bit harder and you've got to think a bit differently.
We've got to be very mindful. Our staff's our greatest asset. And we've got to be very mindful of their health and their conditions. Because if I lose my painter, my plumber, my concreter, I've got a hole to fill. And we know the qualities and the workmanship we get from all these different trades. So we're very mindful of their protection as well as the client, because without the client there's nowhere for them.
And I reckon that's one of the key things is again looking after the people that have been with you for so long. But also the fact that you can adapt, and that was one of the things that really started these conversations for me with businesses, is the fact that teaching other smaller businesses that, hey, you can adapt. I mentioned the takeaway food or whatever the case might be. If you're a restaurant that hasn't been in that field before, there are ways, and again, within your means, that you can do that. And I think that's what I wanted to, I guess from your perspective, being a business leader in Gympie and hopefully talking to quite a few other smaller businesses out there, what tips or what suggestions that you've learned right now can you give them to perhaps not be afraid of the current situation we're in, but to forge forward and put ideas and strategies in place to work through it?
Things have levelled off, and there's not a business out there that can honestly say that it hasn't. So don't use that time as oh dear, what are we going to do? Use that time as let's get this organised and let's get this on board. Let's put the right people on the bus, as the saying goes. Let's be organised for when this does eventually finish. We're not sitting there saying what happened. We're saying let's make it happen.
I love that.
I think that's really important. I think you've got to be mindful of your cash flows. You've got to be mindful of your spending because it is going to be a dip. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, the building industry hasn't really hit it. It's coming because we work 6 months behind. So the black hole is going to happen for us, and we're all expecting it. And if you haven't been in this game long enough to expect it, you've got a shock coming, but it will happen. And as a result, you need to be able to gear for that. But we're structuring ours for our staff, and we're making things work that way. We're trying very hard to keep everyone in a job. And that's a bit of a challenge at times, but at the same time, we've got amazing staff, as I said earlier, so they're all willing to work with each other and structure on and off. I think you've got to be very mindful that if you disappear from the public's eye, be that media, be that press, be that TV, whatever your field is, you've got a long way to come back. So you need to work with your people, and maybe you might wish to close it down a little bit, but make sure you stay out there. It's really important.
We've had to adapt a lot of what we do, not just day to day, but throughout the week and with our clients. From your perspective, and again you've mentioned branding, or at least the sales and marketing part of what we do, is what are you looking for from your salesperson, your media representative right now?
Basically, we have to bring them into our world and talk to them about budgets and talk to them about how we're feeling as far as expenditure and things like that, and I think every business does that. And so that person's well and truly sympathetic to the situation you're in. Therefore, then they're going to devise a plan that's going to work for you without going outside what we've discussed and parameters and stuff like that. That makes things really easy to flow. As I said earlier, in this, you don't go full noise the whole month. You go on, you go off, you go on, you go off. That's very important, and if you look at that in your price structure, that makes it very affordable. As I said, also Brandy comes up with great ideas and little quirks and little comments that you can put into place, and by doing that, that makes it much easier to put the whole thing together. And
you're spot on. Again, in my role, state role, where I've worked with thousands of clients throughout the years, is the best results are seen from those clients and members of our teams who are closer with each other. Like you said, the boys nugget are now giving you a call. It's very much bringing you into the family, because again, from our perspective, or from local radio's perspective, what we're trying to do is engage and entrench ourselves into the almost like the heartbeat of the local community. And if we can take you with us, or you can take us with you as part of that journey, then everyone's better off.
Working alongside the likes of Tony upstairs, they make life really easy, because
in terms of creating the commercials, you come in and voice your own commercials.
I'm no public speaker, and he just makes me sound like I'm actually a public speaker, so he's a miracle worker. But they're the things that make life easy.
And effective too, right? So there's no point being easy and getting a poor product.
He makes an ad that I'm not sure sounds really good to sounding, in my opinion, really good. So, and you can only gauge your ads by what comments people give you. And when you hear them, I heard your ad today, you think, beauty, it's working.
It's come through.